Welcome to Around the Weird. Here's your host, the museum curator of the strange and unusual, Mr. Nothing.
Thank you, mysterious voice, and welcome back to Around the Weird, a booktube channel where I talk about all the unusual and out of the ordinary literature that I've found in my travels. Today it is Poetry Thursday, so I want to talk about some poetry of interest, and I am continuing to do my run of LGBT poets in this period of Pride from the end of May till the end of July, and we're almost to the end of it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop talking about LGBT poets because it's important to talk about those such people outside of Pride Month, or this period of Pride. And today's poem is all about gas stations and the universe. I am referring to Not Overlooking the Kum and Go by D.A. Powell. I've talked about Douglas Powell, or D.A. Powell, on this channel before. I think during that period of Pride about 2 years ago or something like that. So I don't need to go into that great of detail. He is an American poet, lives in or has lived in the California region, and a lot of his poetry is kind of abstract, not really direct, and I think that might have been an issue I had with his first poem, where I didn't completely understand it. But, it's important to talk about poems that you don't understand as well as the ones that you do. I should also note, I don't quite know if he is LGBT. A lot of his poetry has queer leanings, where he talks about queer ideas. So I feel like he could be an ally. He could be gay or something like that, but I don't know for sure, but I'm still choosing to talk about him today. So without further ado, let's talk about Not Overlooking the Kum and Go. I will read it and do a little bit of analysis, and we will move on from there. Not Overlooking the Kum and Go. Who needs a scary movie when there's scary life? Icy days pile up like empty pill bottles. One craves hot soup and bear sex. I can't hibernate above the Kum and Go when there's smoky lights all night. It isn't easy making change for a 20 on a Tuesday night when they're filling the tanks beneath the pumps and the manager's on break. All underage kids must come here and go here. The world rhymes with itself. Earth is earth and row is row, whether to pull a set of oars in school or a line of cornstalks completing the farmer's math. Up above the Kum and Go, I'm reading Maya Angelou, and there's a head shop open 24 hours. They do not sell head, but you might think it the way the patrons come and go all night, all fall, all night, all fall. I lived behind a sex club called the Power Exchange. All words have been charged with electric bodies ever since I wandered into my first poem. It was surely the road not taken, or maybe the body electric. I'm easily mistaken. An alder is reptilian in its body, lid leaves at night, and such vocal things. It is a sexy tongue the world speaks, so many licks to get to the polished moon. Tell me a story then. How did you come to be trampled or new or high where the warblers land and recklessly shit where they eat? The universe I fear to be crashing. No painkillers for Doug. It's just autumn come, electrical storms, the brave fire of the leaves and everything. The pawpaw, along with the huckleberry, the chokecherry, cranberry, concord grape, and persimmon, is one of the indigenous fruits. I usually only get it here, and only this time of year. Fear is real, especially that most unholy fear that we will be forgotten. Fruit, when it's rotten, opens a door to memory from other lives. It is wrong to wish for another life. My hand can barely write the thought. My eye can barely see. My soul translate the fire into autumn's sweet flush. Persimmon tastes like semen. Pawpaw tastes like flesh. Large, hard seeds like date pits I spit off the balcony in summer into the parking lot below where none are sure to be hit, nor anything grow. A spider would not lower himself to touch such concrete ground. I would not live to see a tree grow to fruition, and yet each year I'd like to try. Well, Midwest, here I am. It's pumpkin time. The cicadas have stopped singing. It's just the crickets now along the river, but above the Kum and Go, it's wind and machinery. Why do they all take the same path, and why do these undergrads shout against the fall wind? The rebel angels' cries are but the check-in cries of birds. Hey Mike, It must be hard to be Mike, your name reduced in the ears of others to a syllable of grief. And then it seems that the Mike is gone. Relief. In terms of analysis, this is a pretty strange poem. I think what is happening in terms of narrative is that the narrator is sitting above the come and go, whether that's on like the roof or like just like in a place above the come and go. They're just reflecting on the nature of the world. Talking about like how underage kids are coming here. They seem to be in the background having fun. The narrator can hear them and they're remarking on their life, the life that they must live. They talk about poetry. They talk about the universe and the food that they are enjoying, like persimmons. Although they say it tastes like semen, pawpaw like fresh, large hard seeds like date pits I smit off the balcony into the, not letting that grow. And just sort of exploring a world that that I don't know. It seems like it's a good world, but it's also one filled with some regrets, I would say. Specifically, the author says, fear is real, especially that most unholy fear that we will be forgotten. Fruit when it's rotten. And you see a lot of that rhyming in the poem too. It's very interesting. There's a lot of like maybe hope in this poem, but there's a lot of negativity too. So you see like fear that will be forgotten. And then it's like, tell me a story then, how did you come to be trampled or new or high when the warblers land and recklessly shit where they eat? Which is a very interesting way to phrase things. So there's just every so often in this poem a line creaks through that suggests a sadness or a frustration or anger with how the world is, and I think it's I think it's interesting that they're above the come and go, a gas station, maybe a sort of sadness with the fact that, fossil fuels lead to a worse off world. Maybe that's there. Maybe I'm kind of sort of placing that on the poem. And then the last thing worth noting from this poem is the use of rhyme periodically. You see they say up above the come and go, I'm reading Maya Angelou. And they say the way the patrons come and go all night, all fall, all night, all fall. So a little bit of rhyme here and there. And then in the ears of others to a syllable of grief. And then it seems that Mike is gone. Relief. It sort of adds a strange sort of rhyme, a quaint, quirky kind of sense of rhyme. Cause a lot of it's not like they're following a specific rhyme scheme, I don't think, or a specific line kind of structure. It's just an interesting way to sort of write the poem. And I guess given the subject of the poem and how sad, but sometimes zany it can seem, that rhyme scheme really adds to the overall feeling, the atmosphere of the poem. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Not Overlooking the Kum and Go by D.A. Powell. A pretty interesting poem, one that I highly recommend that you check out, so I'll put a link to it in the description. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, or if you just have something interesting to say about my review here. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that more people can find out about this poet, this poem, or Poetry Thursday if they don't know about that and they want to talk about other poetry for themselves. And until then, I wish you the best of luck in your weird and gas station related travels. Farewell.